Good evening. This is Straight to the Truth and Lifestyle of a 55-year-old lady. I bring to you the story of untold stories of the civil rights movement. Today's story, I'll bring something different than what I usually speak on or report about. Today's story is based on a lady that kind of went through the same thing as Miss Rosa Parks. Her story you don't really hear of. Her story has not really been told. So tonight we dedicate this to Miss Claudette Colvin. This is a story of a young African American black woman who is now at the age of 82, who, like Mrs. Rosa Parks, sat at the back of the bus and was demanded for her to get up out of her seat to give to some Caucasian white people that didn't have a seat. Miss Claudette refused because she stated that she had paid her fare and it was her constitutional rights to be able to sit in that seat. But what I need you guys to know is there's a twist to her story. And like I said, she went through the same thing that Miss Rosa Parks went through. This even happened before Miss Rosa Parks was arrested and asked to give up her seat. But this beautiful African American woman's story has never been told. So tonight, we are here to tell it. And I want to give a shout out for CBS Good Morning America News for bringing this story to light. I just love it. And it might bring tears to your eyes, so get your tissues ready. Five, four, three, two, one.
Claudette Colvin. Most people don't know her story. As a teenager, she was arrested 9 months before Parks for the very same reason, refusing to give up her bus seat to a white person. Her story is a very important part of our civil rights history, and now there's a new development that you'll see only on CBS Mornings, and we love when this happens. Lead national correspondent, that's you, David Begnaud, has an interview that we will, and it's got a twist, as only you can do. I've been waiting for this all morning.
I can't wait for you to see this, and all of you. You don't hear about Claudette Colvin in the history books, but you should. She's now a great-grandmother, and for the past 66 years, she has lived with a criminal record. In what may be her final protest, she asked a judge in Alabama to clear her name by expunging her record, and the judge did it.
66 years.
As Gail said, you do not
66 years.
Meeting assistants now. It's very nice to meet you. Claudette Colvin has spent most of her 82 years as a convicted juvenile delinquent who would go on to college, work as a nurse's aide, and raise two sons.
Do you think of yourself as an important figure in history?
No, I think of myself as a survivor of the civil rights struggle.
Her place in the civil rights struggle began when she was 15 years old, at the back of a crowded Montgomery, Alabama bus after school with three friends.
I was sitting in the section that was allowed for colored people, and this white lady came. The bus driver demanded for the four seats.
And this is you and three others?
Students, yes.
So three of them got up?
Yes.
And you refused?
So I refused. Because this wasn't an elderly white lady, this was a young white lady.
You're sitting there, your classmates get up and move.
Yes.
What was going through your head as to why you refused to stand?
I said, I could not move because history had me glued to the seat. And they said, "How is that?" I said, "Well, it felt as though Harriet Tubman hands were pushing me down on one shoulder, and Sojourner Truth hand was pushing me down on the other shoulder."
Now, that happened 9 months before Rosa Parks was arrested.
So did you hear her? She said she felt like Rosa Parks was pushing down on one shoulder and the constitutional rights was pushing down on the other shoulder, telling her, "Don't you dare get your butt up out that seat." Let's continue to listen.
We came to the rear of the bus and asked me why I wasn't sitting there. I told him I was sitting there because I paid my fare and it's my constitutional rights.
Now, watching this interview from a nearby room was Judge Calvin Williams. Today, he is the presiding judge of the Montgomery Family Court. And then what happened?
Oh, lo and behold, two squad car patrolmen stopped and, cut the bus off. And came, they stopped, and we said, "Oh my."
We invited the judge to listen in and hear Colvin's account of what the police did to her in 1955.
And he asked me why I wasn't sitting there. And I was even more defiant. And I said, "I paid my fare and it's my constitutional rights." He said, "Constitutional rights?" And all I know. And they put me in the squad car and they handcuffed me through the window.
Claudette Colvin was jailed, charged with disturbing the peace, breaking segregation law, and found guilty of assaulting police officers, clawing them with her fingernails.
They said I clawed the policeman and I kicked the police. I didn't do it.
Was it the one and only time in your life that you've gone to jail?
Yes.
At the time I represented Claudette Colvin, there was no Rosa Parks case.
As a young attorney, Fred Gray, later portrayed by Cuba Gooding Jr. in the film Selma, took up her case. That's before he went on to defend Rosa Parks. In his book, he pays tribute.
The whole history of the civil rights movement may have been different, but for Claudette.
At the age of 16, she made headlines again as one of 4 plaintiffs in the lawsuit that would end Alabama's bus segregation in the landmark Browder versus Gale Supreme Court decision.
When you won in court,
Yes.
you could sit in the front row if you wanted.
Yes.
And did you?
Yes.
But the charge of assaulting police officers remained. Fast forward to today. When Judge Calvin Williams in Montgomery, Alabama read her appeal, he expunged her 66-year-old criminal record.
And I'm no longer a juvenile delinquent at 82.
She was not present when the judge ruled. She didn't know his name. She didn't even know what he looked like.
We have a surprise.
It was a surprise.
We have a surprise for you.
What is a surprise?
Someone would like to meet you.
Hello, Miss Colvin. Judge Calvin Williams.
Wow.
Judge Calvin Williams.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness.
On behalf of myself and all of the judges of Montgomery, offer my apology for an injustice that was perpetrated upon you.
Oh, this is a surprise.
So you didn't know that the judge who did this was African American?
No. I'm so proud.
The judge wasn't even born when Miss Colvin refused to give up her seat on that bus.
When she did this in 1955, there were no African American judges in Montgomery. She stood up for right, and now I'm the beneficiary and byproduct of that, and I could correct the wrong that was done to her.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Can I squeeze your hand?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
This morning, our lead national.
So this is the story of Miss Claudette Colvin. At 82, this judge has cleared her name, and he is able to make a right out of a wrong. Isn't God good? And God bless this beautiful black queen for standing up for her rights and standing up for herself. This is a story that brings tears to your eyes. You know? So we're just bringing awareness to some of the civil rights moments, untold stories that people don't know about. Because people think Rosa Parks was the first person that this happened to that refused to give up their seat, and it wasn't. It was this woman, Miss Claudette. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, this is straight to the truth, where we like to talk about the real stuff that's going on out here in the world, and we bring the truth. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow, and hit the little bell up above. So that way, when I post something, you'll know and you'll be aware. Y'all have a good day. I'm out. Peace.